Okay, today I'm going to be talking a bit about my journey towards living a more minimal lifestyle. So I'm not going to call myself a minimalist. I do not feel like I have at all earned the honored title of being a minimalist, but I do definitely feel like I've been on the journey for the past 5 years since first getting married and having my own home to become more minimal in just our lifestyle and the things that we have in our home. So I'm super excited to share what I've learned thus far on the journey, and so I'm going to be sharing 10 different things that I have learned. So to begin, the first one is basically what I just said. Starting out, I thought you'd one day just reach this point where you had enough white in your home, enough green plants, and -10 items that you could officially just become a minimalist. And I've learned thus far that it is much more of a journey and a lifestyle than just a one-time deal where all of a sudden you're a minimalist and you just stay a minimalist. And that's actually been really encouraging to me because I'm constantly trying to just build habits around kind of keeping a neater home, build and establish habits towards cleaning things out more frequently. And I'm slowly seeing the change over time of just feeling like my home is a bit more manageable, and that has been really exciting. So that's the first thing. Lesson number 2 that I have learned that has been so helpful is to keep a spot in your home where you have a designated Goodwill or giveaway bag or bin. This has been super helpful because I find, like, as I'm doing the laundry, I might find a couple of things that I'm like, you know what, the girls don't fit this anymore, or I don't ever wear this, I should just get rid of it. And yet if I don't immediately put it in that donation pile that I have, it somehow just finds its way back into my laundry or back into the kids' toys or whatever. And so having a designated spot that I always keep a permanent Goodwill bag or donation bag has been really helpful with just as soon as I find something or come in contact with something that I don't want anymore, immediately having a place to put it where as soon as that bag is full, I can take it out and get rid of it. And that's been really helpful with not kind of regathering the things that you spent so much time cleaning out of your home. Lesson number 3 that I want to talk about is something that I shared in my last video on kind of creating a more minimal lifestyle, and that was to have a maybe spot. So you don't have to immediately decide, is this something I want to keep or something I want to get rid of, but rather having kind of an in-between where you can decide. And so with the girls' clothes, I will just pack them away, and you know, I might have another baby down the road and pull them back out, those things that I'm just not sure about. Or with my clothes, anything that I have questions about whether I want to keep or not, rather than instantly getting rid of it or putting it back in my closet, I will put it in my seasonal bin. And so when the next season comes around, I will pull it out and look at it again and just kind of reassess whether I want to keep the clothing item or get rid of it. And so I especially do this with clothes now, and it's just really helpful when you're like, oh, I kind of like it, but I don't wear it. But I don't quite want to get rid of it, or maybe it was gifted to me and it was really sweet, and maybe some other season in life I'll really enjoy this item. So having a maybe spot is really helpful. Tip number 4, which I just kind of talked about, is cleaning out your clothes each season. I do this with my 2 daughters, and I do this with myself, and it's just been really helpful with not having to sort through, you know, 100 items of clothing when in the current season I can only wear about, you know, 25% of them or whatever. Instead, just being able to just look at what I have for that season and decide from that amount of clothes, and to have everything else packed away. Now, this is a little tricky in a small home, I admit, because there's not really that many storage places around here where we can put stuff, but I have bins, I have some baskets, and things are just put where they can fit, and I pull them out each season and swap things around. And it's just really helpful with making your wardrobes just a little bit simpler. Number 5, and I have been doing this for quite a few years, and it saved me so much money and buying so many things I regret, and that is that almost 100% of the time, if I want to buy something online, I will always put it in my cart and wait a night or 2 days even before I actually order it. And I can't tell you how many times something's looked great in the moment and I've almost bought it, and then I come back a couple days later and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad I didn't spend the money on that. Honestly, it probably cuts down on 80% of the things that I would buy if I was just to immediately check out and order the item. That's been really helpful with saving money and with just not filling up my home with things that it turns out I don't actually need or really want. Lesson number 6. I have worked on this one a lot, and that is not getting rid of your husband's clothes without asking him. I confess, when we first got married, my husband had a couple shirts I really did not like, and I kind of secretly cleaned them out of his wardrobe. And I think I did that several other times with different stuff, and I've just learned out of respect for my husband and respect that he gets to make those decisions himself, I no longer mess with any of his clothes. If there's something really disgusting, I might ask him, hey, can I just throw this away? Or if it's really worn out. But I do leave my husband's clothes alone now, and I just think that's probably the wisest for a happy marriage. Lesson number 7, and I also mentioned this in a recent video, is asking yourself the question before you instantly feel like you have to upgrade to a way bigger house or a way bigger amount of storage space or whatever it is. Just asking yourself, is there any way I can downsize what I already have so that I can use the space I have currently? And I'll confess, I've found it a bit of a struggle living in a fairly small home with not a lot of storage. With 4 of us, there's going to be 5 of us soon, and just trying to find spots to keep things where your home doesn't start to feel or look cluttered. But I have really been trying to apply this lately, and I can tell a difference. So really asking myself, can I clean out what I have rather than just always assuming I need something bigger or better to have my home feel organized and neat? And I know it's a challenge, and my home is in no way perfectly organized or neat, but I'm trying. Number 8, I have 2 specific bins in my daughter's room where I store everything that's too big and everything that's too small. And as soon as the bin gets completely full that's too small, I dump it into a larger bin and I put it away into storage for if we have another baby in the future where I'll need that clothes. But this has been really helpful because I am very particular with what I like my girls to be dressed in. I don't like a lot of stuff, and I'm very particular about certain styles and what I do and do not like my girls to wear. And so I have found that it's so much easier for me to just slowly accumulate clothes I really like, even if they're like a couple years down the road before my kids will be wearing them, and then store them away. I found that to be so much more helpful with having clothes that I really like my kids to be in. And so I do this when I thrift store shop, and I put everything that I find that's too big in the too big bin. And then everything that's too small, as I'm doing the laundry, I'm constantly filtering it out. And so I really try to keep a minimal amount of clothes for my little girls and have it be clothes that they can currently wear that I really like, especially when we're going to church and outings and things like that. And this has been another really helpful way with making their wardrobes a bit more simple, because I rarely ever have an item in there that's too big for them to wear at the moment, and I rarely ever have an item in there that's way too small for them to wear at the moment. And so everything stays very current and up to date. And just having those 2 bins to kind of quickly separate things into that I just keep in their room permanently has been really helpful. Number 9, I have slowly and gradually over time tried to clean out a lot of my patterned clothing, especially with my toddler. So my toddler loves to get herself dressed, and I'm all for my kids being independent and learning to get themselves dressed and taking care of themselves. But I found that when I had a patterned shirt and a patterned pair of pants, I was constantly either having to look at an outfit I really didn't like throughout the whole day, or having to tell my toddler, hey, you have to go change, that doesn't match. And so I have cleaned out and slowly over time basically gotten rid of all of her patterned leggings, and now she just has denim leggings or plain leggings, and so she can wear them with any type of top, with her dresses, with her skirts, and she can get herself dressed and there's no clashing of patterns. And it's been so much easier. I still have 2 pairs of patterned pants that I'm slowly just kind of going to weed out as she grows out of them, but it's been really helpful now that she's at the age where she wants to dress herself to actually like what my toddler is wearing, and to have it all match just by simply not buying patterned leggings. Number 10, I didn't realize how many of these tips have to do with clothing. I am pregnant right now. I have probably a total of about 15 maternity items, but basically all the rest of my clothes I can wear pregnant, not pregnant, nursing, or not nursing. And that's been so helpful. And so some of the ways that I do this is I look for a lot of V-neck stuff. I don't have hardly any dresses anymore that have like a close, tight neck that I can't nurse in. I wear a lot of stretchy shirts, a lot of pants that have a lot of stretch in them. It's been really nice. I haven't had to start wearing maternity clothes yet, and I'm about 24 weeks along, so that's really exciting. So I don't have to have that much maternity clothes. A lot of button-ups and a lot of just stretchy tank tops that I can wear with either a sweater or with a button-up shirt, and it's just been really easy, and it keeps my wardrobe that much simpler and where I have that much less clothes that I'm constantly sorting through. Although once again, I'm always sorting according to season and according to the size that I am, because I've fluctuated sizes. I've fluctuated a good 35 pounds a couple of times now over the past couple of years. So those are the things that I wanted to share. I hope they were helpful. I'm kind of starting to focus a little bit more on just developing a more minimal lifestyle because it's something I'm super passionate about, and as a mom it's a lifestyle that I really want, so I have more time with my kids and more time doing the things I actually want to do. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Now I'll have my other kind of more minimalist focused videos down below in the description box. So thank you for watching, guys. Bye.